You've reached the Emerald City Church. How may I help you?
Oh, is that you, Kevin? I didn't think you'd be there already, so I was just going to leave a message with the priest.
Oh. Hey, Rufina. Yeah, I got here late this morning. How about you? When do you think you'll be getting here?
I'm going to be a little late, I'm afraid. There's been an accident or something, so the train's been delayed. I probably won't be getting there until this evening now.
Gotcha. I'll wait here till you arrive. I think Reese and the kids would get all bent out of shape if you showed up without you.
Oh, please. I'm sure you're just exaggerating. Although, speaking of Reese, I hope you've been thinking about how you're going to cheer her up.
I've got it all planned out. I've been stocking up on souvenirs from every mission I've been going on. Should be enough to snap her out of her funk.
I wouldn't be so sure if I were you. Girls her age are more complex than you think.
Yeah? I guess she's not really a kid anymore now that she's 13, but still. Actually, that's about how old you were when we first met, right? Good God. That explains a lot.
Now that you mention it, was how time flies. Sorry, it looks like the train's about ready to leave. I'm going to have to go. I'll see you later then, alright? If you get bored of waiting, you're welcome to go on home ahead of me, of course.
Got it. See you later. Man, how time flies is right. Have I really not been home in 2 years? And I guess that makes 9 since I met Rufina. I hope Rias isn't too grumpy when we finally get there. What is it, Father? Has something bad happened? Well, I just received word that someone spotted a group of men dressed in all black at the edge of town. What's worse is, they were supposedly heading for the mountain path. You don't think... If they were, Astor House must be their targets, I fear. Do you have any idea what could be going on? I wish I did. I doubt it's anything to do with the Groundsritter, at least. I think I should go and check it out, just in case. Please do. Oh, do you know when Rufina is going to be arriving, by the way? This evening, by the sound of it. She said her train's been delayed. When she arrives, can you let her know what happened? Damn it. Jaegers? Seems like there's anywhere between 5 and 10 of them. But what could they want with a gospel faculty to begin with? The longer they're allowed to be in there, the more danger the kids are in. I'm gonna have to try and handle this alone. It's time to put my combat skills to good use.
Celeste? Wasn't that the name we saw in those data crystals?
That's right. According to those, she was the de facto leader of the group of ancients who sealed away the Oriole. She was also the founder of Liberal's current royal family.
I'm glad to see the information I left behind ended up proving useful to someone. It really did. So, then you're really the founder of Liberal's royal family? Not technically. I'm not the real Celeste D. Auselese. Think of me as something of a shadow. Or a partial copy of her personality created in order to influence Phantasma from within. How can you only be a partial copy? The truth behind you is apparently more complicated than we thought. You don't appear to be a spirit of some kind, though. I see that now. That is correct. Before I try to explain just what I am, I should probably tell you more about the world we are in first.
You can do that? This should be interesting.
As you are aware, The land in which you stand is called Phantasma. This is a world belonging to a higher plane of existence, created several thousands of years ago by the Oriole. Its purpose was to act as a subsystem for the Oriole in order to incorporate and process the will of the Liber Arc's populace. One might call it a self-organized world designed to realize countless possible others as necessary.
Pardon?
You've lost me.
Yeah, is there a simpler way to explain this?
Well, while not technically correct, perhaps you could think of it this way. Phantasma is like a fictitious realm created by the Oriole in order to fulfill humanity's every wish and desire.
That's better.
What exactly qualifies Phantasma as fictitious? I can't help but think it far too real to be a land of pure fantasy.
When I say a fictitious world, I don't mean to suggest that Phantasma is a complete lie. It's more like a shadow graph or kaleidoscope. It has its own laws and can change to reflect countless different possibilities. Does this make the concept any easier for you to understand?
Somewhat, yes. And suddenly the name Phantasma seems much more appropriate.
As I stated previously, it was a subsystem of the Oriole, rather than being the Oriole itself, and it helped to grant people's desires. They were separate entities, but effectively like two sides of the same coin. The relationship caught our eye as we were devising the sealing mechanism.
You mean the mechanism used to seal away the Oriole? That was also in those data crystals left behind.
Exactly. At first, we thought our plan would be impossible to execute. After all, the Oriole had absolute control over space itself and was able to influence mankind's every action. Even after coming upon the idea of temporarily freezing it and imprisoning it with a gravity barrier, we had no way to implement our plans. Without that, they were simply ideas with no real meaning. We were effectively at a total loss.
You had discovered your foe's weakness, but had no way to take advantage of it. That must have been quite the frustrating predicament.
Indeed. And yet, our perseverance rewarded us with the development of something that could take advantage of that weakness. The Recluse Cube.
Is that what this is doing then?
Yes. That is the only object in existence able to interact with Phantasma without relying on the Oriole as an intermediary. Celeste used that to create a partial copy of her personality, that is, me, inside Phantasma. And once inside, I began working to sabotage Phantasma's functionality by using this garden as my base of operations. As a result of my efforts, the Oriole's processing ability was hindered just long enough for the plan to be executed.
He who catches his foe off guard wins the battle. The same principle applies to martial arts too.
It sounds like you really put a lot of thought into planning it.
Maybe, but I can't deny that luck played a part in the end. Once the Oriole was sealed away, my work was done and I fell into a deep sleep here. My reason being that if the Oriole was ever unsealed, I might be able to provide assistance to the people of that time. I'm pleased you've been able to handle it just fine without my help, however.
Luck's played a huge part for us too, though.
We're not even sure where the Oriole is now. As far as we're aware, it disappeared during all that happened at the Liber Arc.
I thought as much. I was able to confirm the Oriole's disappearance from here within Phantasma too. When I did so, I thought my purpose for existing was finally over, and that all that was left for me in this land was to embrace a slow and peaceful destruction. But that was not to be. Soon the Lord of Phantasma appeared. So that's when it happened.
Quite a recent development, I see.
The Lord of Phantasma appeared out of nowhere, stealing all my power before I was even aware of what happened. After doing so, they began to remake Phantasma in accordance to their own designs. Both this world's current structure and the planes that make it up were all the Lord of Phantasma's creations.
Looks like your theory was correct, Rin. Still, that makes it sound like... Yeah. So you don't know who that masked bastard is either, then?
I'm afraid not. Their every action thus far has been a mystery. Ordinarily, they should not have been able to gain access to this world in the first place. And I'm afraid I have no idea what they are trying to achieve by bringing all of you in here and testing it. Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, that's the part we want to know most of all.
I only wish I could be of more help. The only other thing I can say about them is that I suspect the Lord of Phantasma is currently in the 7th plane. There's a 7th? What makes you think that? That was the first plane they created after appearing in this world. Just what kind of plane that place is, I don't know. But I can sense dark, inhuman thoughts from there, and they're spreading out across the whole of Phantasma. That doesn't sound good.
Then we'll be seeing them after the next one, won't we?
Yeah. We just finished the 5th when we came back here. Presuming they're waiting for us on the 7th, the time to fight them head-on may not be that far off. I was getting tired of waiting. As was I. It seems the end may finally be in sight. Now, if only we had some sort of inkling as to where the Lord of Phantasma is trying to achieve. Actually, I just might.
Kevin? You're up!
It's good to see you again, Father. You too. Wasn't expecting you of all people to get an invitation here. Or you, for that matter, little lady.
I'm sure you were. I've got something I want to ask you, but I suppose that can wait until later.
For sure.
Are you sure you're feeling alright?
Right as rain. I'm feeling just great. All that sleep must have done me a lot of good. And I see you guys made a whole lot of progress while I was out cold too.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Kevin Graham. Or maybe I don't need to introduce myself since you seem to know a thing or two about everyone who's come in here so far.
True. I was able to tell what was happening at the Liber Arc from the garden. And out of all the people here, you are the one closest to the truth of what is happening here. Am I wrong? What?
No, I don't think you are. I can't pretend to be much of an expert on what Phantasma itself is. But I've got a pretty good idea as to who's responsible for all of this. I can only think of one person twisted enough to put us through all we've been through.
Wait, is it someone you know?
You could say that, yeah. The short version is, they're a real piece of work. A cunning, arrogant, cold-hearted son of a bitch who doesn't even see people as people. That about sums up who we're dealing with.
Sounds like a real awful guy.
And who, may I ask, is it that you're talking about? Well, about that. Would you be willing to wait just a bit longer for the answer to that one? I'm pretty sure I'm right, but I'm still missing one last thing that'll help me be certain. And I think we'll find out just what that is in the 6th plane. And here I thought we were finally going to get an answer. Is there a reason you can't share your theory as is? Yeah, I realize I'm asking a lot after we've come so far. But I promise that as soon as I know for sure, I'll talk. I swear on the goddess's name and on the church's emblem. Well, I don't see any reason to say no.
Likewise, he's clearly got his reasons. It's not often you ask us for favors, so I can let it slide. No problem here. If he says wait, I'll wait.
I feel as though we can trust your judgment, Kevin, so I have no objections either.
Me neither.
I don't really care as long as I get to have fun.
I believe we're all in agreement then?
Yep, consider this one settled.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Anyway, now that I'm up, I'm also down to take lead again. And I'd appreciate it if you backed me up.
No problem. It seems like you're all ready to move on. While you are advancing through the 6th plane, I'll do all that I can on my end to find out more about the 7th. Of course, if you need my support, I'll be happy to provide it through the cube and the monuments as I always have.
Now that you mention it, we haven't really thanked you for all the help you've given us since we got here, have we? Thanks, Celeste. We couldn't have done this without you.
We truly are in your debt. Please, think nothing of it. I am but a shadow, placed here with a duty to fulfill. I believe helping you to be part of that duty. If I may, allowing me to help you however I can.
Will do. Sorry for worrying you too, Rias. But I'm just fine now. So please, just leave everything to me. I'm begging you.
Only if you promise me one thing.
What is it?
I won't make you promise not to put yourself in danger or to overdo it. But don't do anything that would make Rufina sad.
You really know how to hit a guy where it hurts, don't you?
So, will you promise?
Yeah, I promise. I swear on her name, I won't. This is the warp to the 6th plane, right? Time to hop to it then. Incidentally, how are you feeling now? I'm fine, honestly. Never better. Anyway, we can't afford to stand around talking here. We need to get moving. I suppose that's true. What area shall we find ourselves in now?
This is Romo Pond, isn't it?
So the next place to be recreated is the scenic route near the Liberalian royal family's villa, huh? Will probably be more dangerous than scenic this time around, though. We should start exploring as much of it as we can, but stay sharp.